Hello everybody, it is Nicole from iiKiui, and today we are reviewing the Arteza colored pencil set as well as their Twimarkers set that was kindly gifted to me. So let's not waste any time and hop right into the video. The price of the 120 set of colored pencils on their website is $74.99, and on Amazon it is originally $77.99. As for the Twimarkers set of 100, on their website it is $64.99, but when I checked a few days before this video, it was on sale for $35.69. I'm not sure how long the sale will last, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. On Amazon, this set is $53.99. The color pencils come in a metal tin box with an owl image on the front. 120 is written on the front to show the set size, but they also have smaller sizes available which you can find on their website. On the back of the tin, it has all the colors listed, and this is also found on the inside when you open it up. There are 5 red plastic trays inside with 24 pencils in each tray. I found these trays a little bit difficult to remove, but I think it depends on your grip, and I also had long nails at the time, so it was a little more difficult for me to get a grip on them. The Twimarkers come in a clear plastic package. The front shows the set of 100. On the back, the colors and names are shown, and inside, there are 5 plastic trays with 20 pens in each tray. On the barrel, the name and code are written on the side, and I found that the names and codes are similar, if not the same, as their other products. There are lots of colors included in this set, and I'll have the full swatch video linked in the description if you want to watch me swatch them all. For the Twimarkers, the pen is dual tipped with a brush tip on one side and a fine tip on the other. The barrel is clear and it shows the color on the inside, which I personally think that this looks really cool. The name and code are written on the side, and similar to the color pencils, I recognize the same names and codes as their other products, which makes sense because if you're using the same line of products, you would want to keep the codes and names consistent. When you remove the cap on one side, it can be placed on the other side, so you don't have to worry about losing caps. On the box, this claimed to be water soluble, so I decided to test it out, and I made some squiggles on a piece of watercolor paper and added water to it with a brush almost immediately after. From the test, I can see that some pens are more blendable than others. I think it depends on the color and blendability. I can't tell you which pens blend and which ones don't, but from my test, you can see that the purple one didn't really blend as well as the other colors that were swatched. Before I dive into the pros and cons, I just want to note that this drawing was made on Bristol paper with the smooth surface. I chose the smooth surface compared to the vellum just because there will be no texture showing when I use the colored pencils, so it makes it a little bit easier to blend and not get any texture from the paper. For the pros, the codes are easy to find and identify on each product, which I think it makes it easier to match colors to swatches. If you've watched any of my past review videos, then you'll know that any products that don't have any type of identification, like a code or a name that I can put on the swatch card, It's a little bit more difficult when choosing colors because you would have to either keep the pens in the exact order of the swatches every time, or you would have to re-swatch it every time. So I find having the codes and names to be really helpful on any products. The color pencils are sturdy. I feel like the lead doesn't break as easily, especially in my experience. I have other color pencils that when I sharpen them and I color with them, they either snap or they don't sharpen very well, but these ones didn't break easily, so I really like that and makes for easier coloring. I find that these color pencils are easy to blend, and a quick tip if you want to use color pencils is to use a light hand first and then work in circular motions to build up the color or gradations or just to blend two colors together. Both sets come with lots of colors to choose from with a pretty equal amount of each color. I personally like having more colors to choose from, and I know you can mix different colors together to make new colors, but I just like having more to choose from in the first place. For the Twimarkers, I feel like they can be used for many things, including journaling or calligraphy. The tips of the pen are pretty ideal for practicing calligraphy. I'm not very good at it, so I can't really vouch for it, but if I wanted to practice more calligraphy, then I would use these pens. The tips pretty much remind me of the Tombow Fudenosuke pens, which I have found other people use a lot for calligraphy or bullet journaling. The fine tip side of the pen is also flexible, and I like the contrast between the thin side and the thicker brush tip. I think you can make some really cool bullet journal layouts or headers with these. And in my opinion, I think the Twimarkers just look really cool with the clear barrel and color inside. As for the cons, the price of the colored pencils is definitely up there, with the original price of the 120 set being in the 70s. However, they are labeled as professional colored pencils, but I don't use colored pencils enough to know what to compare them to, so I can't really say that they are professional quality or not, just because my experience with colored pencils is not as high as some other artists here on YouTube. I do have some experience, but if you can't tell from my channel, I mostly work in watercolor and marker. The Twimarkers are water soluble, which I think can be both a pro and con depending on what your usage is. Because these are water soluble, if you use it before applying watercolors, then they'll definitely just wash away. And if you were to apply it after watercolors, I would just suggest letting the painting completely dry first before applying color, or it could bleed into your artwork. As you know from my other videos, I tend to outline afterwards, so it's not really an issue for me, but I just wanted to mention it in case you work the other way so you can keep it in mind. If you were to use the Twimarkers for journaling, I would just compare them to the other brush pens, such as the Tombow brush pens. So if your journal can hold that marker or pen without ghosting or bleeding, then I think these will have no problem. However, this also just depends on your journal and the paper weight and how thick it is. So if you do plan to use these for journaling, I would choose a journal that can hold more ink. Overall, I liked both of these sets. I think that they both include a lot of variety in colors, as well as providing high quality products. As I mentioned earlier, they are a little up there in price depending on your budget or what you're comfortable spending. However, I do notice that the Arteza products tend to go on sale quite often, so maybe just wait for a sale. Like right now, the Twimarkers are on sale for almost half off, so if you want to grab that at a pretty good price, then I would do so when there's a sale. I definitely plan to use both of these products more often, especially nowadays that I'm adding other mediums to my artwork. For example, in my previous fan art video where I drew Halen from Witch, I added color pencils over top of the markers because I wanted to add more dimension and just more color that the markers couldn't provide. So I think that the color pencil set will be very useful to me when doing future videos like that. I definitely recommend these sets for both intermediate and beginner artists. However, if you are a beginner, maybe you would like to try a smaller set first to see if you like it before committing to a bigger set. As I mentioned earlier, they do have smaller sets available so you can try it out without spending a lot of money. I think these sets are great for artists or doodlers or bullet journalers. However you want to use color pencils and brush markers or brush pens is totally up to you. So I hope you found this review video useful or helpful in any way. I hope it was informative enough and gave enough examples. As I mentioned earlier, the full swatch videos will be linked in the description, or you can just find it on my channel. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified of when I post a new video. I typically post review videos about twice a month, so if you want to see that or any other speed paints or fan art videos that I'm posting, then I would love to have you join the community. And as always, links to the products and materials that I'm using are in the description. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Keep drawing, keep creating, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!